So welcome my dear students. So this one is your first video for the chapter acid, base and salts for class 10 students. Now the basic question is, sir, what is acid? So actually acids are those substances which release H plus ions in aqueous media. So any compound which either consist or may not consist hydrogen atom in their chemical formula, but they must release H plus ion in aqueous media. So such substances are termed as acid according to chemistry. But in previous time actually acid is defined as according to their taste. So all compounds which are sour in taste are termed as acids. But the recent definition of acid according to Arrhenius concept is acids are those either organic or inorganic compound which contain or may not contain hydrogen atom in their chemical formula, but they must release H plus ion, that is protium, in aqueous media. Actually that protium ion is not stable, it is highly active, so it reacts with water present in that particular medium and converted into hydronium ions. So acids like HCl, like H2SO4, like H2CO3, all of these are compounds which react with water, and or when these compounds dissolve in water, then they provide hydronium ions, that is H3O plus and Cl minus one negative radical. That negative radical is termed as acid radical because it is part of an acid. So this one is known as acid radical. Similarly, H2SO4 when dissolved in water, then it also furnishes hydronium ion, that is H3O plus and SO4 double minus. Here SO4 double minus is acid radical. Similarly this one also, so H2O, so this one furnace again here H3O plus and CO3 double minus. This one is acid radical because this is part of an acid. So all compounds which release H plus ion in aqueous media, and that H plus ion is not stable, so it reacts with water and form H3O plus, that is hydronium, and also a negative radical. That negative radical is acid radical, and that positive ions are hydronium ion. So HCl, in case of HCl, when we use aqueous medium, then it provide H plus and Cl minus. So here this H plus is protium. Why this one is protium? Because it consists only one proton in their nucleus. This one is hydrogen atom, and one hydrogen atom consists one proton in their nucleus and one electron revolved around the nucleus in orbit. So that one is atom of hydrogen. When it loses their one electron, then it converted into H plus ion. So in H plus ion basically this electron will loses here. So ये वाला electron यहाँ पे lose हो जाएगा. So जैसे ही one electron वो lose करता है, so it consists only one proton in their nucleus. So this one is known as protium, and this one is highly unstable when it comes in contact with water because this one is in aqueous medium. So H plus which have no any electron is react with water and form H3O plus, that is protium. Sorry, this one is hydronium. So this one is hydronium and this one is protium ion. Actually existence of protium ion is not possible. So protium converted into hydronium. Why this one converted into hydronium? So actually water is HOH, that one is water, and here water oxygen consists two lone pair of electron, and H plus which have no any electron is just coordinate these two electrons and attain the electronic configuration of helium and becomes stable, and that charge which is on H plus is distributed over all this unit. So this unit is known as hydronium ion, and this one is H plus is protium, and the existence of protium is actually not possible in aqueous media because it is highly reactive. So it react with water and form one stable ion, that is H3O plus. Actually ions तो stable नहीं होंगे, but यहाँ पर जो H plus है उसकी stability सबसे कम होती है और इनसे ये मोर स्टेबल एक ग्रुप का फॉर्मेशन करता है. तो H plus converted into H3O plus when it comes in contact with water. So this is the basic characteristics, that is sour in taste. Acids, all acids are sour in taste. These acids react with water, or when dissolved in water, then they provide protium and hydronium. Also these acids, any acids, basically acids are of two types depending upon their occurrence or from where they are obtained. So these are acids are organic acids, that is organic acid. Organic acid means those acids which are obtained from living sources are organic acids, and those acids which are obtained from minerals, earth crust, are known as inorganic acids. Inorganic acids are strong acid, whereas organic acids are weak acid, because their degree of dissociation is less and degree of dissociation of inorganic compound is more. It means this one inorganic compound will completely ionized in aqueous medium, whereas organic compounds are partially ionized in aqueous medium. So due to the partial ionization of organic acids, all organic acids are weak acid, like citric acid, like acetic acid, formic acid, tartaric acid. So all of these are organic acid because they are obtained from living sources. So all acids which are obtained from living sources are organic, and these are weak acid because their degree of dissociation is less and they are partially ionized in aqueous medium. Whereas inorganic acids are completely ionized in aqueous medium, so their degree of dissociation is high, and these are strong acids. All acids change the color of blue litmus into red. So अगर आपसे कोई क्वेश्चन करता है कि एसिड किस कलर को शो करेंगे लिटमस पेपर पे, तो एसिड, द डी इज हियर लास्ट टर्म एसिड, सो रेड. So acid will change the blue litmus into red, and there is no effect on red litmus paper when we use acid. Similarly, bases will change their color, or bases changes the color of litmus from red to blue, because base, so base means blue color. So आपका जो भी base होगा वो always red litmus को blue litmus में ये convert करते हैं. For example, suppose we have one blue litmus paper here. So now this blue litmus paper, when we use a small drop of acid on this litmus paper, so we use here basically sulfuric acid, and when we use sulfuric acid on this blue litmus paper, then their color change to red. And this shifting of color from blue to red is explained that this compound must be acid, because acids changes the blue litmus into red. Similarly, bases change the red litmus into a blue color. Like just we take here one strong base, that is NaOH. So that's one NaOH, change this lead litmus into blue color here. So you can easily observe here the blue color of this litmus paper. So red litmus change into blue due to base, and blue litmus change to red due to acid. Means acid change the color of blue litmus into red. Litmus paper, either red or blue, both of these are made up of lichens, which is a combo of two plants. Actually this one is one inorganic dye. So all type of litmus paper and also universal pH paper are made up of dye. These are natural dye, actually made up of lichens, which is a type of plant. It is combo. So उसमें दो तरह के properties आपको available होते हैं, और जब आप लिचेंस को आप यूज करते हो तो एक्चुअली वो एक तरह का डाई होता है. डाई हेयर, डाई, DYE, डाई. सो डाई इट मीन्स नॉट ओनली कलर. सो डाई आर दोज कलर्स विच कैन permanently deposited on a fabric. So such colors are known as dye, and dye basically consists one group. That group is known as chromophore group. chromophore group. So that chromophore group actually either nitro or nitroso. So these are several type of chromophore group, and due to these chromophore group, one dye represent one specific color, because these groups like this chromophore group like nitro, nitroso, so all these groups absorb a visible light and just absorb visible some frequencies of visible light, and their complementary color will show here. So when we use some amount of acid or base on this particular chromophore groups, then their nature will change, and due to change in nature of chromophore group, these complexes or these dyes or these colors change their color when they comes in contact with either acid or base or salt. So basically sॉल्ट के केस में तो कलर चेंजिंग नहीं होता है, बट जैसे ही आप डाई या फिर जिसको आप बोल रहे हो क्रोमोफर ग्रुप और ये नाइट्रो और नाइट्रोसो टाइप्स के ये ग्रुप्स कंसिस्ट करते हैं, तो ये ग्रुप्स एक्चुअली विजिबल लाइट को एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं और उसके कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री कलर को शो कर रहे होते हैं. वो एब्जॉर्ब करके अपने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के पोजीशन को चेंज करते हैं, दैट इज नॉन एज रेजोनेंस. क्योंकि इन ग्रुप्स के अंदर रेजोनेंस होता है, यानी वो जो बॉन्डेड इलेक्ट्रॉन है वो शिफ्ट होते हैं फ्रॉम वन एटम टू अनदर, और इस शिफ्टिंग में उनको एनर्जी की आवश्यकता होती है. तो वो एनर्जी वो विजिबल रेंज से वो एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं, और जिस पर्टिकुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी को वो एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं उसके कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री कलर को वो शो करते हैं. जैसे ही आप कोई एसिड और बेस आप यूज करते हो तो वो ग्रुप एक्चुअली डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है. वो ग्रुप डिस्टर्ब होने के कारण जो फ्रीक्वेंसी वो पहले एब्जॉर्ब कर रहा था अब उससे डिफर फ्रीक्वेंसी को एब्जॉर्ब करना शुरू करता है, जिसके कारण अब वो डिफर कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री कलर्स को शो करना शुरू करते हैं. यानी जब भी आप इस तरह के कोई भी लिटमस पेपर, आप बेसिकली यूनिवर्सल पीएच पेपर आपने देखा होगा, यूनिवर्सल पीएच पेपर जो कि बेसिकली आपको येलो कलर का आता है, तो आप अगर यूनिवर्सल पीएच पेपर को आप देखोगे तो इसमें ब्लू लिटमस एंड रेड लिटमस दोनों ही अवेलेबल है, क्योंकि ये एसिड में भी अपना कलर चेंज करता है एज वेल एज बेस में. हम लोगों ने अभी देखा कि एसिड चेंज ब्लू लिटमस इनटू रेड व्हाइल बेसेस चेंज रेड लिटमस इनटू ब्लू. सो देयर इज नो इफेक्ट ऑन रेड लिटमस ऑफ एसिड. आप अगर एसिड डाल रहे हो तो रेड लिटमस के ऊपर उनका कोई इफेक्ट नहीं होता है. बट अगर हम बात अगर यूनिवर्सल पीएच की अगर हम करते हैं तो यूनिवर्सल पीएच हमारा, यूनिवर्सल इसको क्यों बोलते हो आप यूनिवर्सल इंडिकेटर, बिकॉज इट कैन इंडिकेट अबाउट एसिड एज वेल एज बेस. सो ये एसिड के भी बारे में एक्सप्लेन कर सकता है एज वेल एज बेस के भी बारे में. तो आप जैसे ही इसमें आप एसिड और बेस आप यूज करते हो यूनिवर्सल पीएच पे, तो ये एक स्पेसिफिक कलर को शो करता है, और जिस कलर को ये शो करेगा ये उसी पीएच वैल्यू को यहाँ पे रिप्रेजेंट आप करते हो इस चीज में. सो अगर आपका डीप रेड है दैट इज पीएच 1 वैल्यू, अगर थोड़ा सा कम है दैट इज पीएच 2 वैल्यू. सो अगर ऑरेंज कलर में आ रहा है दैट इज pH 3 to 4, इफ येलो देन इट इज 5 एंड सो ऑन लाइक दिस. ऐसे आप नीचे जाओगे, अगर आप 13, 14, 13, 12 ये आएगा तो ब्लू कलर को वो शो करेगा, और वैसे केसेस में वो बेसेस होंगे. सो आप अगर यूनिवर्सल पीएच पे आप अगर देखो तो आप किसी भी एसिड एज वेल एज बेस दोनों के ही कलर को आप रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हो. सपोज जस्ट वी यूज हियर sulfuric acid on this universal pH paper. So what is their color here? So just we poured some sulfuric acid on this universal pH paper and their color becomes red, and this red color show that compound is must be at first acidic and their pH value is must be 1, because their color resemble with 1 pH. So that compound जो अभी हमने use किया that's one is sulfuric acid and with pH 1 value, because their color is resemble with color 1. So that is pH 1 value. Now if we use some bases on that particular universal pH paper or universal paper, then what happen? So when we use some base, then their color shift to blue here. So their color shift to blue, and this blue color so that their pH nature is 12 to 13, between the range 12 to 13. So with the help of universal pH paper we can measure the pH of particular acid, as well as we can identify one acid or one base by changing the color of universal pH paper. That's one is universal indicator, because it can change their color in acid as well as base, whereas red litmus paper is only change their color in basic medium, it's converted into blue color, whereas blue color, whereas blue litmus is used for detection of acid, because acid change the color blue into red. So all of these are mineral acid, and already we discussed here that mineral acids are strong acid because their degree of dissociation is high and they are completely ionized in aqueous medium, whereas organic acids like acetic acid, all of, CS3COOH, so formic acid, HCOOH, similarly citric acid, oxalic acid, that is COOH whole 2, so COOH whole 2. So all of these are organic acid and these are weak acid. So why these are weak acid? Because their degree of dissociation is low and also they are partially ionized in aqueous media. So one exception is here, and that exception is carbonic acid, which is one mineral acid but it is weak because their degree of dissociation is less, as well as this one is one weak acid because it can slowly ionized or partially ionized in aqueous medium. So this one is used in soft drinks like Thumbs Up, Coca-Cola. So when carbon dioxide is compressed and in a water cannon, then water react with that particular H2O, that is CO2, and form H2CO3, that is carbonic acid. And carbonic acid is basically one weak acid. So actually all these acids consist hydrogen atom which furnish as H plus ion, that is protium, in aqueous medium. So all acids in their aqueous state react with metal and liberate hydrogen gas, because these metals like zinc react with sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. So this one is one aqueous system. So H2SO4 dissolve in aqueous system, so it must furnish H plus ion and SO4 double minus ion. So that zinc react with sulfuric acid and form Zn-SO4 and release hydrogen gas. So all metals, not only zinc, but all metals which are more reactive than hydrogen can react with acid and form their own corresponding salt and liberate hydrogen gas. So for this purpose, just we take here a small amount of sulfuric acid first, and use some zinc granules. So just you observe here, some bubbles are coming out from here. So sulfuric acid react with that zinc metal and form zinc sulfate, that is white salt here, and the bubbles which are coming out from this tube are hydrogen gas. If we use one matchstick on this test tube particularly, then it burned with pop sound due to presence of hydrogen gas, because hydrogen gas is one reactive gas and it one is one combustible gas. So when it comes in contact with oxygen and just apply matchstick, then it combusts and form water vapor. So hydrogen react with oxygen or combust in the presence of oxygen and form water vapor. So here just you can easily observe that sulfuric acid react with zinc granules and some gases are evolved here, and these gases are actually hydrogen gas, and the white salt which present in this test tube is basically zinc sulfate. So this reaction can be repeated with different metals as well as different acids. So we can repeat this experiment with several metals and several acids, but the condition is here only one and only one, that metal must be higher reactive than hydrogen, and our acid is never be HNO3, because HNO3 is one oxidizing agent. So since HNO3 is one oxidizing agent, so it will provide nascent oxygen to the system, and that nascent oxygen react with hydrogen and form water. So आप अगर ऐसा कोई भी अगर आप एसिड ले रहे हो तो वैसे केस में हाइड्रोजन गैस आपका लिबरेट होगा, बट आप अगर HNO3 ले रहे हो तो आप मैंगनीज के साथ रिएक्शन कराओ, मैग्नीशियम के साथ कराओ या फिर किसी दूसरे मेटल के साथ, तो वहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन फॉर्म्ड होगा, नो डाउट, बट HNO3 is itself oxidizing agent. So this one is oxidizing agent, so it have a nature to release oxygen, because this one is one oxidizing agent, so it must reduced. So when it reduced, it provide nascent oxygen to the system, and that nascent oxygen react with hydrogen and form water. It means that during a metal and HNO3 reaction, hydrogen gases are not evolved. During a metal and HNO3 reaction, water molecules are formed. And in case of other acids like any one of them, either inorganic or organic, minerals or organic, we can use any kind of acid. So it must react with metal and form their corresponding salt and also release hydrogen gas. Now metals react with acid and form metallic salt and liberate hydrogen gas. So actually all metals will do it, like aluminum. So aluminum have one specific nature. So not only aluminum, but that nature is also associated with zinc, because zinc and aluminum, these are two amphoteric metals, so their reaction with acid as well as bases both are possible, because the itself aluminum and zinc both are amphoteric, means in Hindi these are called ubhaydharmi. It means those which consist of two different type of properties. So when aluminum comes in contact with acid, then their nature becomes basic, and when that aluminum comes in contact with one strong base, then their nature becomes acidic. So our aluminum, so that's one is one aluminum foil, and that aluminum foil will react with acid as well as base. So in first reaction where one aluminum foil will react with acid here, and their reaction also with a base. So this one is Na plus HCl, sorry, Al plus HCl. This one is Al plus HCl here. Some bubbles are coming out. These are hydrogen gas. And in this system, actually aluminate is formed. In this system, this one is the second reaction. So after some time, we will again observe it. Now in this test tube, actually hydrochloric acid here react with aluminum foil, and in this, just you can easily observe, this one is sodium aluminate formed in this solution, and hydrogen gases are evolved. So aluminum and also zinc both react with acid as well as base, because their nature is amphoteric. Amphoteric means ubhaydharmi, so their nature is like acid as well as base. So zinc and aluminum, these two metals are amphoteric, and their nature is just changed. When they comes in contact with acid, then their nature becomes basic, and when they comes in contact with a strong base, then their nature becomes acidic. So not only aluminum but zinc also react with acid as well as base, so it forms ZnCl2 and also release hydrogen gas here, and that zinc again react with NaOH or KOH and form Na2ZnO2, that is sodium zincate, and also release hydrogen gas.